The global defense community was rocked by Moscow's official announcement. The Sukhoi Su-57 Felon, Russia's flagship stealth fighter, is now armed with hypersonic missiles. For years, the Su-57 was debated. Some called it a world beater, others a paper tiger. But this changes everything. The jet is no longer a theoretical threat. It's a real, formidable force. This isn't just another upgrade. It's a fundamental shift in air combat. A fifth-generation stealth aircraft, now carrying a nearly unstoppable weapon, has forced military planners to rethink everything. The Su-57 with hypersonic missiles is a quantum leap in offensive capability. The timing is no accident. Amid global tensions and the Ukraine conflict, Russia is sending a clear message. It's not just catching up, it's surging ahead. This move jolts the world's military balance. The old rules of engagement, radar detection, missile evasion, dogfighting are being rewritten. The Su-57's new payload bypasses traditional defenses, acting as a first-strike weapon and carrier killer. Russia has used hypersonic weapons from bombers and ships before, but putting them on a stealth fighter changes the entire chessboard. The game of aerial warfare just got far more dangerous. For pilots and strategists, this is a moment of profound change. The world is watching as the future of air power arrives, faster, stealthier, and deadlier than ever. What is a hypersonic weapon? It's not just about speed, though these missiles travel at over Mach 5 or a mile per second. The real danger is their combination of speed and maneuverability. Unlike ballistic missiles, hypersonic weapons can change direction mid-flight, making them nearly impossible to intercept. They fly too high for anti-aircraft systems, too low for anti-ballistic interceptors, existing in a deadly gap in defenses. There are two main types, hypersonic glide vehicles and hypersonic cruise missiles. Russia leads in both, with the Su-57 reportedly carrying a new, smaller air-launched variant. The destructive power comes from both the warhead and sheer kinetic energy, enough to obliterate bunkers or carriers. When you combine this with near invulnerability to interception, you have a weapon that can threaten almost any target anytime. It's a technological terror that redefines shock and awe. The era of hypersonic warfare is here. Pairing a hypersonic missile with a stealth aircraft like the Su-57 is a force multiplier. 1 + 1 = 10. Stealth lets the jet get close unseen. Hypersonic speed means the enemy can't react in time. The Su-57 slips past radar, launches its missile, and turns for home. Mission complete before defenders even know it's there. For defenders, warning time is catastrophically short. This combo can neutralize even the most advanced Western defenses like a US carrier strike group. The Su-57 can pierce the defensive bubble, launching from outside the densest screen. The missile then evades interceptors, threatening the core of American power projection. The psychological impact is huge. How do you defend against an invisible enemy with an unstoppable weapon? Adversaries must spend billions on new sensors and interceptors and disperse their forces to avoid being easy targets. The stealth hypersonic combo forces the enemy onto the defensive, always reacting, never in control. It's a nightmare scenario for military planners. The rules of aerial warfare have changed permanently. The Su-57 now holds all the cards. The balance of power is shifting. Picture a real-world conflict in Eastern Europe. NATO's command bunker in Poland is considered untouchable, protected by Patriots and constant air patrols. Russia dispatches a pair of Su-57S instead of a massive bombing raid. Using stealth and electronic warfare, the jets slip across the border undetected, exploiting radar gaps. NATO pilots and Patriot operators see nothing. The Su-57S reach their launch point, still invisible. At the command, the weapons bay opens and a hypersonic missile, codenamed Gremlin, drops and ignites. The jets bank away, already heading home before the enemy knows an attack is underway. The missile screams toward its target at Mach 6. Alarms blare, but the warning comes too late. Interceptors scramble, but the missile is too fast and maneuverable. In seconds, it slams into the bunker, obliterating it. The strike is perfect, untraceable, and undeniable. This is the new face of warfare. The message nowhere is truly safe. Integrating a hypersonic missile onto the Su-57 was a massive engineering challenge. Hypersonic missiles are large and heavy, but the Su-57's stealth relies on internal weapons bays. Russia had to develop a new, smaller class of hypersonic weapon, likely the Kate-95, to fit inside. This means sacrificing some range for the advantage of stealthy deployment. The aircraft's weapons bay and launch mechanisms needed reinforcement and new software to handle the missile. The result? A highly specialized weapon system. The Su-57 carrying this missile isn't a dogfighter, it's a strategic scalpel. Its job is to penetrate defenses and deliver a single, devastating blow. The warhead may be smaller, but its unstoppable precision is what matters. It's designed to take out command centers and key nodes, leaving the enemy blind. The Su-57 is now a tool for surgical strikes deep behind enemy lines. For NATO, the hypersonic-armed Su-57 is a nightmare come true. It challenges decades of air superiority and technological overmatch. The alliance must now accelerate its own defensive and offensive programs. Detection is the first priority. New sensors, especially space-based infrared, are needed to spot hypersonic launches. Existing interceptors can't reliably hit maneuvering hypersonic targets. Billions are being poured into next-gen interceptors like the glide phase interceptor, but these are years away. The old model of concentrating forces is now risky. Dispersal and redundancy are the new buzzwords. The most effective response may be deterrence. If you can't stop their hypersonic missile, you must have your own. The US is racing to field air-launched hypersonic weapons like the AGM-183 AARW. It's a dangerous tit-for-tat, with the stakes higher than ever. The arms race is back and the window of vulnerability is wide open. NATO must adapt or risk falling behind. The future of warfare is arriving faster than anyone expected. For Ukraine, the Su-57's new capability is an immediate existential threat. Unlike the detectable Kinzhal launches, a stealthy Su-57 can strike with almost no warning. Critical targets, command bunkers, are now at risk of sudden surgical destruction. Critical targets, Patriot batteries, are now at risk of sudden surgical destruction. Critical targets, logistics hubs, are now at risk of sudden surgical destruction. Ukraine and its allies must invest in denser air defense networks and constantly move key assets to avoid being targeted. The pressure is on to deliver advanced Western fighters like the F-16 to help police the skies. The conflict is escalating into a direct contest of next-generation air power. The stakes for Ukraine and the world have never been higher. Air combat has changed. Old rules no longer apply. The Su-57 with hypersonic missiles is like a duelist with a laser pistol against 6 shooters. Traditional detection, positioning and evasion are obsolete. The Su-57 strikes unseen, its weapon operating on a different timeline. This forces militaries to rethink everything. Preemption, intelligence and rapid response are now critical. Knowing where the Su-57s are before they take off is more important than tracking them in the air. Warfare is becoming impersonal and automated. Pilots are just cogs in a kill chain. The human element of dogfighting is replaced by cold, calculated strikes. Wars may be won or lost in minutes, decided by algorithms and hypersonic speed. The future of combat is here, and it's terrifying. The Su-57's new capability is the starting gun for a new arms race. The era of American military dominance is over. Advanced technology is proliferating fast. The West is now playing catch-up, investing trillions in both offensive and defensive hypersonic programs. This race is fought in labs, not just on battlefields, by engineers and AI, not just soldiers. The proliferation of hypersonic weapons lowers the threshold for conflict, making preemptive strikes more tempting. Decision-making time for leaders shrinks to minutes, raising the risk of catastrophic mistakes. The Su-57 is a cautionary tale. Technological advantage is fleeting, and the world grows more dangerous in the interim. We are witnessing the dawn of a new military age, defined by stealth, speed, and AI. The Su-57 may be the first to combine these elements, but it won't be the last. The echo of this announcement will shape the future of war for years to come. To sum up, arming the Su-57 stealth fighter with hypersonic missiles transforms it from a silent stalker into a ghost with a lightning bolt. From battlefield recalibration to geopolitical headaches for NATO and Ukraine, this moves the narrative needle in military escalations. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the bleeding edge of aerial warfare, show some love. Like this video to support bold analysis, share to educate the curious, and subscribe if you want future history. Live unfiltered and with the side of wit. Don't forget to ring that bell icon, because in the Su-57 era, the only thing faster than the missiles is the chance to be misinformed. Thanks for watching History War, where history slides into the cockpit of tomorrow.